I am covering the lipstick Lesbian brand that they have launched and the product with the brand. So, to start off, it hasn't gone over very well at all with anyone. So, because it hasn't went over very well, obviously, I occasionally get their videos up on my For You page. Personally, from what I have seen of them, they haven't ever been like a creator I've followed closely, because I've never really enjoyed their comments. Not their I meant to say I've never really enjoyed their videos, and how it always made me feel uncomfortable. And I personally think, looking back, is just how they explain things. It seems very over explained, and I guess in the beginning, like when I first few years ago when I first started seeing their videos, it kind of made sense because I know Alexis and Christina, which is her wife. Those are the two people I'm talking about today. They, I think Christina has her PhD in education. I would have to look on their website, which I'll be in there later, but and Alexis has done, I believe, product development or in the background, or I'm sure it'll come up in their launch video. Anyway, the reason I'm covering it, one, it was on my For You page almost every day, and two, I just didn't think the way they have positioned themselves on social media with being educated and knowing the beauty secrets, or the behind the scenes on product development. When I saw the product they released and knowing what kind of content they make, I was kind of disappointed and confused, because I kind of like the way they had positioned themselves on social media. I kind of expected it to be very well finished, very well polished, and an amazing product, quite frankly. But at first visual, I was like, ooh. But actually seeing, I have not touched the product. I have not purchased it. But having seen the swatches on their own website and swatches that she has done, and then also swatches that other beauty creators or just general everyday people that have bought it, it is quite confusing on why they launched this product, considering how they positioned themselves on social media. So I have their first video announcing their brand, just in general. I figured it kind of show their marketing in general for their brand and also their product. And then I have another video with a little bit of information about the product launch. So I'm gonna start with the video that is launching their brand.
We're addressing the rumors.
It's true.
We are not leaking news.
But we are leaking the lab. You, first question.
The release document.
So I'm not gonna lie, their marketing in this video and all that is pretty well done. Their promotional content, I'm not gonna lie, that is really well done, in my personal opinion. Now, I feel like the product should have lived up to that also, but in my opinion, it hasn't, from what I've seen or saw. So let's continue.
Suggests that Leaked Labs is actually more than a brand. Can you clarify what exactly Leaked Labs is?
Do you really think the Lipstick Lesbians would just launch another influencer beauty brand? This is a future beauty product development engine. It's going to change everything.
So when they even said it themselves, do you think that Lipstick Lesbians, I have a hard time saying that, would release just another influencer brand? To be fair, there are some influencer brands that are really good. There's some that are mid. And then there, I'm sure, are some that just aren't good. And so with how they position themselves, knowing that, you know, one's an educator and has her PhD in education, and the other has done beauty product development for a long time, you would expect a polished product. And I mean, you can be the judge of whether it's polished or not, but in my personal opinion, it's not what I expected to see from them, especially considering this is how they even said it themselves. They don't want to just be another influencer brand. But in my opinion, I think it's worse than just another influencer brand. But we'll get there.
We're bringing the power back to the beauty community. Yes.
Why did these labs give you access to their products?
The truth is that no one was brave enough to launch these first products that you're about to see. And so we decided to do it instead.
What should we expect next from Leaked Labs?
Was it the problem that they weren't brave enough, or it was not a good product, or it was a product that was innovative, yes, but not good in practicality for general everyday consumers and makeup artists, and more of a, oh, we can do it kind of product, but versus like, oh, hey, everyone's gonna want to use this kind of product. So
to put it simply, if I see another lip balm or if I see another blush, I don't think I can handle it. It's the first time the beauty industry has ever seen a product development first brand.
my question is, what's the problem with another lip balm or a blush? Your most successful and biggest brands have those things. Just because that is a product you start with doesn't mean it's a product you have to continue with. And then product development first brand, it seems like we missed on the product development and decided to launch something that was maybe, in my opinion, they were so focused on standing out and being innovative that didn't turn out to be good. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, so let's finish this.
If it doesn't blow your mind, it doesn't launch.
If it's not innovative, you'll never see it.
They got a little too focused on innovation and focused on it blowing your mind, which, granted, you can do that with a product that has a well established safe formula. You can do that. So this is a video that shows kind of the beginning stages of the product. They had launched this is the product they launched. The first video I watched was their brand launch. So I kind of got ahead of myself talking about the product just a little bit, but we are gonna watch that next. So let me get it loaded up.
People don't dare. We have to dare to change the way to do makeup.
And it's called Leak 1 Volume 1, which on their website is listed a little bit different, but in my personal opinion, when I saw that, I didn't know that's actually what customers were going to have in their hands. But indeed it is. So this is the video about the brand launching, and then a little bit more information. Okay, so the product that is listed on their website is they call it Amplify getting twisted around my words again. Amplify Flexi Powder. And there has been really no clarification on whether it was eyeshadow or meant for anywhere on your face. Personally, by looking at it and the way it's like the way you look at the product here, it looks like you would use it as an eyeshadow. If I'm not mistaken, I did see somewhere where you could use it as like more than just an eyeshadow. Okay. So here you can see like a better picture of the product laying flat and showing that what's in the package and what the package looks like, which is, you know, this small container with 4 eyeshadows or face powder, whatever, all in one container. But later on, you'll see why, personally, I don't think that was a good way to do it, even if they were going to release this product. I'm not sure.
Woo! What's that? Amplify Flexi Powder.
So what are the different ways you can use it?
My favorite way to absolutely use them is actually to wet them. I love to.
So there is my like question is like, okay, if you're going to be wetting them and they come in one container and like you're not providing anything else with it, you're just providing this one little container and they're all in one. If you wet them with water, setting spray, whatever, my concern is like if you throw them back in the package, no matter how long you let them sit out, or I guess not no matter how long you set them out, but the most people, like personally me, I would wet it, maybe let it sit there while I'm finishing my makeup and then throw it back in the container. But if you don't let it dry, my concern for like a specific amount of time, that seems to me like it would be a extreme, like a bad, like it would harbor bacteria, personally would be my thought. So even someone, I'm watching the video right now and someone in the comments says this is a microbiological aspect, this is a nightmare. I don't know for sure, but my logical brain would be like, yeah, for sure. I don't know the specific science of it, but anything you get wet, and if you don't let it dry completely perfectly, if you throw it in a container with other things, or even just by itself, it's gonna like grow bacteria or mold. Anything does that. So, you know, that aspect of it has me concerned, even though, like, you know. So let's see what else they have to say.
Use a setting spray. Some of my favorites include the new Morphe and classic Scandinavia. I like to drench it inside my tin. Sometimes if I'm feeling...
She's spraying it, she's telling, you know, this is the person that made this product and did the product development and is releasing it and is saying to spray it in the tin, which is, if it's in the tin that you already have it in, and where are your other 3 products right of those right now? And then also, if it's in the tin, while you're spraying it, you're adding more water into the container you're going to place it back into, which adds more concern to me. And
feeling freaky, I'll use a plate. You can use your fingers. You can use a brush.
Fingers don't seem like a good idea. Most of the time, I don't think it's recommended to use your fingers. I mean, yes, we do it, but even like at home, yeah, we do it, but like for safety standards for like makeup artists, that's a no. You don't use your fingers because it's not safe.
You wet this product, it goes from being a dehydrated powder to gel. It's gonna deposit more color for you than it would if it's not activated. Here's the magic. It's gonna go back to feeling and looking like a dehydrated powder. If you're like me, you like to get a little messy, use your fingers. If you don't like to get messy, you could just use a brush. You can do looks endlessly.
What kind of finish does Amplify Flexi give that other powders don't?
There's an ingredient in here called carrageenan. It makes this feel like a gel. So when you actually wet this product, what you're getting now is almost a liquid metallic shadow. When a gel liquid metal dries, it looks more pearlized and a little bit icier. When you layer it, it looks like a cream eyeshadow, but the difference, you're not gonna see a layer of what we call film former, which is usually what's inside the product to make it stay on, shellacked in your crease, which also looks like dandruff. When it gets dry and crunchy, there's too much skincare in this product built in because it's an emulsion to make your eyes look crispy, to be able to get a texture that is this wet looking inside of a powder format that is so versatile, has never been done before. This is the future of wet and dry technology. What I really want you to do is play. Find the joy in makeup. I can't wait to see the looks you create.
Me too! Let's go!
Let's go.
Woo!
Just seeing it. I don't know, it's not what I would. It just seems not safe, in my personal opinion. Anyway, so that was their how to use video, and then after that, it kind of went, guys.
Let's
This
swatch
one.
Amplify Flexi powder on each quadrant of my face. This is Flexi Dry. This is Flexi Amplify.
So it does look like it does deposit a little bit of product when it's dry, but not very much. But when you wet it, it's like night and day difference. But the problem with wetting it, it just doesn't seem sanitary and safe in that aspect.
Let's swatch Amplify Flexi powder on each quadrant of my face. This is Flexi Dry. This is Flexi Amplified. 1 pump of setting spray.
That's so crazy that you can get that effect.
It's cool. This is Flexi Dry. This is Flexi Amplified. This copper tone has less pearl than the silver. Every disc is a little bit different because every pearl is a little bit different. This is the gold tone, dry. This is the gold tone, which is also the thinnest, amplified. I'm swiping emollients.
Wow.
Last and certainly not least, this is Amplify Flexi Dry. This pink has the most pearl. It has a higher particle size. Then we amplify.
Wow. I mean, you can't do this with traditional eyeshadow.
No. This is Flexi. Let's swatch Amplify Flexi powder on each quadrant.
Okay, so, and then this is what the very beginning of that video had like a picture of what the product looks like when it comes to you. Like, it's not like, oh, it's showing it in the lab as it's being produced. I mean, granted, this could be them getting ready to be packaged, but that is the final form. So it's basically the same as you see it there as when you get it in your hands. So after that, obviously people started buying it, started getting it in their hands. And so now I'm gonna kind of play it in chronological order since I'm already kind of doing that. I will show you a video that I saw. This is kind of the first video, not the first one, but the first person I saw review it video on this, and I thought she kind of
Welcome to episode 1 of paying to be a product tester for a makeup brand. I told you in the intro I have a lot of thoughts regarding this brand, so let's take a look at what you actually get from volume 1 from Leak Labs. If you have not seen this yet, supposedly it's the very first of its kind. This is called the Amplify Flexi Powder. I wanted to do a close-up on what you actually get because this is something that we have not seen yet, and I think you guys are going to be
not much different than what they show on their page. It's just more of a customer point of view and like what they get in their package and what everything looked like. And so this is the product, but this is like the customer's point of view from, I think this is like when they first get it in their hands.
Very interested to see just how much product you get. While I give you the visuals, since this is Leak Labs' initial launch, I wanted to give a shipping update as well. So I did purchase mine on March 6th and I received it on March 9th. Now this is where it's going to get interesting because visually you could see that you're not getting the same amount of product within each shade. So we need the scale to figure this out. Now, as a product tester for a quote unquote lab sample product, I'm insanely disappointed to see how much product we paid for, because when I look at the price breakdown of what I paid between product and shipping, that was $10 per each shade to get 1 ounce of product. That's total product, and then on top of that you're getting inexpensive tin packaging just wrapped up in an envelope. If that is what we're paying for this amount for lab samples, I don't even want to know how much those.
Yeah, if they are putting this out as a lab sample for 30, the pricing, I think, let me see, I just had it pulled up on their website, is $34. Granted, they have pulled it off. They did sell out and then they have pulled it, but we'll see that later. So here, we'll go back to this video.
Those slabs cost that the lipstick lesbians are showing. But now to get into the initial applications and just playing with these for the first time, I'm going to stick to just dry for this video. I'm going to show you what all these look like in natural, indoor, and also in sunlight. And you're going to see just how unimpressive these look. And I feel like we're going to see exactly why no other brand has picked these up. Because to the average consumer, if you were to go swatch these in store, one, they're insanely messy, but they're honestly not anything impressive. Let me know your guys' thoughts so far. I think my biggest takeaway, at least at this,
I'm not gonna lie, her hand swatches, granted she might have had to really work to get the product out, look better than the ones on the website. So I think she really made sure to try to get that product to come out. But that first one, you barely see any product. So it is nice to see, like, from a customer's
point is going to be, if we're being sold to use these with something else, something should probably come with it.
Yeah, that is a point I wanted to bring up because of her saying you need setting spray to wet it. There's no palette of any kind, which typically when you get makeup and an eyeshadow palette or even just a product palette that's cream or dry that has blush or cream blush or eyeshadow or anything like that, it comes in a palette that you can open and close, that you can blend your makeup on, you can pick it up, you can clean it, you can, I don't know if you wet normal, you don't really wet normal makeup that I know of. But even you do, makeup artists do have to clean it, and you do need a palette to mix it on. Most anyone that's doing their product, it kind of helps in the process of makeup. But this doesn't even come in a palette. You don't have a palette. You do not have a brush. You do not have the setting spray that you need to wet it. And then we're shoving it all back into one container and saying it's sanitary, which I question. And in my personal opinion, I don't know that that seems the most sanitary to me. And knowing the way they have always, the way I've saw their videos and the way I've saw them in their videos, the way they position themselves has always been like they know the product development, they know the sanitary needs, they know the product or the ingredients in them to make the products. And from that, my expectation would be that this would be the most well thought out, well finished, and most different product from an average influencer. You know, not all makeup beauty creators have that experience behind the scenes in the lab. They may later on, but maybe not when they're creating their product, or they're learning as they're creating product. From the way they've positioned themselves in their content, it seems like they had this prior knowledge, but in my opinion, it seems like they wanted to be more different and more innovative and kind of and their marketing and their promotional content is beautiful. Like, it's well done. It's definitely better than, in my opinion, the product. So it just seems like with all of that together, and then you actually see the product. I mean, I haven't held the product, but you actually see the product. In my personal opinion, it just didn't live up to what my expectations were when I heard they were releasing a product. Granted, I don't watch them that closely. Just, I've never really been interested in that. I'm not super into makeup, never really have, so that wasn't my demographic, and I never really enjoy their content just because of how much it just was never my cup of tea. So, and then I heard a lot of their consumers had the same concerns, and they continued on, and people kept questioning and were like, oh, are you going to address these questions that consumers have of your brand? And mind you, most of their promotional content has been done on their personal channel, which is fine. I mean, I would also hope that you want to bring it to your product page or your brand channel. I guess it's your it seems like you would want to bring that to your page. So the next video I have is how they address that content, which was in their, what they called their State of the Union address. So, oh, here we go.
The internet has spoken. This is the first Leaked Labs State of the Union.
Why am I paying to have a product that's unfinished for me to test and give you feedback?
You're not paying for an unfinished good.
And you're not paying to do the work for us.
You're paying to participate in beauty's largest public focus group that's being documented.
We actually make sure we test beauty products before we launch them to make sure they're ready for consumers' hands.
We might even be testing them right now.
When manufacturers present products to brands and then brands take it and develop them further, these products are finished. It's just brands take it a step further with longer lead times to make it tailored to them. What we're doing is we're expediting that cycle and giving you the finished good that's presented by the manufacturer to your hands. But rest assured, Leap Labs products are safe to use, pass all cosmetics and regulatory testing, ready for launch, and hygienic to you.
The preservative system is there for a reason, to make sure.
Is it normal to call, like, preservatives and beauty products a preservative system?
It's safe for you to use.
So what does the future of Leaked hold?
The truth is that no one really knows what the future of Leap Labs is going to hold, including us.
We're going to rescue products that deserve the spotlight. We're going to give them the platform to be seen. And we're going to also develop some of what we feel to be the best-in-class innovations that are yet to hit the market. But at the end of the day, we're going to do so alongside you with the curtain peeled back fully this time. This is a space for collaboration. This is an invitation to all brands out there that aren't sure about an innovation. If they so choose, maybe they can leak it with our lab.
Is Flexi a gimmick?
Historically, when innovations launch, many people don't understand them and they need a lot of explanation.
If you want...
I think it's pretty straightforward. It's finished.
This product to be used the way you've used all your other powder products. Is it really innovative? It's really just a question of, is it worth it to explore?
And ultimately, the question of whether or not Flexi is a gimmick is really up to you to decide. The selfie camera was actually seen as a narcissistic gimmick when it first launched. And look at it now.
Lastly, we've come to understand we've solved one of your biggest pain points. Flexi is unbreakable. Just like that. Flexi is unbreakable unless you rip it.
Who knows if Amplify Flexi Powder will influence the future of what powder products look like? We'll just have to wait and see.
Won't we? Take me, for example. I only dated men until I tried a woman, and boy was I surprised.
You need to be flexible.
So, I don't like the way they talked that whole video, and then throwing in, like, the comments she made about the way that the selfie camera was considered narcissistic. You know what? And then popping up a video, I think it's more their tone and how they approached it, and then saying that it's unbreakable unless you rip it. What about general use? And then also that last, as a queer woman myself, that last statement just seemed unneeded. I mean, it just, I don't know. Just, you know, it didn't seem like it was pertinent to the thing. Same with the selfie camera. And the only thing that seemed pertinent when they were talking about that was the fact that it was unbreakable unless you rip it. But, I mean, that's not the question. It's unbreakable unless you rip it. It's product. It's if the product is okay for general everyday use, how is it going to hold up? Is it going to last for 2 days, a week, a month, a year? You know, I think most eyeshadow palettes are rated for 6 months to a year. Personally, I don't think that product could live up to that just because of how it's formulated, and not the like preservative part of it, more of like the way it's formulated in a like the flexible part of it, and the fact that it has no palette just seems like those two things, and that they're advertising it to use with your hands, just doesn't seem like it's gonna hold up for general use for a year. And then not to mention the sanitary part of it. As a general makeup user, I don't use makeup that often, but when I've had eyeshadow palettes, I don't use them every single day. They are gonna sit closed for a couple days. Even if I did use them every day, like if I use that thing and I used it with my fingers every single day, it's gonna fall apart quick, especially when you have any length of nails. If you have long natural nails, or if you have long, just wear long, I don't want to say fake, that just seems weird, but long gel nails or acrylics or anything like that. And this is, I mean, your biggest population is gonna be women. Men too. I mean, men wear eyeshadow too. It's just like, it just seems like it just wasn't very well thought out. I mean, your biggest demographic for makeup is women, and then yes, men use it too, and a lot of men wear nails too, or have long natural nails. It just doesn't seem like it was well thought out for the customer or the consumer, especially when considering like you are, it just doesn't seem very well thought out, personally, for what their content is and for how they approach things. But so after that video, that was addressing their customers' concerns about a product. That was their first video they put out on it. Then after that, people continued, and really didn't, that wasn't received very well back. But the way it wasn't well received, the way their tone was, and I mean that's just that was basically my first time seeing that, but just the way the common thing was like, oh, the tone and the way they responded just seemed condescending. And I see that watching it kind of feels that way. That didn't go over very well. So again, that people kept being like, hey, these are our concerns, why aren't you responding, whatever. And mind you, they had continued posting during that time. But they did post a video again addressing the concerns. So we're gonna watch that now.
If you've been on the internet the last few weeks, it's highly likely that you've seen a video about the Lipstick Lesbians and our new brand, Leak Labs. It's also highly likely that you may think we've disappeared.
We did not disappear. We've been traveling. We're at the airport. We're on our way home.
We've also grossly underestimated that volume of feedback would come at the busiest cycle of the year, literally for innovation, where
I have the same question. I'm watching it off their actual TikTok page. But it said one of the first comments I can see is, why not on Leak Labs page? That was something I was wondering when I was looking for all these videos, was most of these have been just on their actual personal page where they started posting, not their actual product or brand page. So that has been a little confusing. I know that one I put up that we had just watched was deleted. That's why it's on my iPad. I had to go and find it to watch it, and so they did delete that one. I'm not sure if they posted the one they call the State of the Union on on their brand page on TikTok, or if they just posted that one on their personal page. But the video we're watching right now, it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not on their main page. Most of them haven't been, from what I can see. So, let's continue watching this.
The world's biggest conference happens every year. And also, we had a trip to Korea before that. Cosmoprof is the quintessential innovation.
So, from what I saw, they wanted feedback and they wanted that, but then they weren't expecting it. And then going off on the fact that it's the biggest time of year for innovation and whatever, it just seems like unneeded explanation, and kind of feeling like, oh, I'm gonna tell you this because you don't know. You're not smart. It's kind of how I feel it comes off. I'm not gonna lie. So.
Conference. It resets the beauty industry in its entirety for the year. We can totally understand the frustration that mounted because we weren't responding fast enough, but the human truth is we simply couldn't process the information that was coming at us fast enough to give you what you all wanted.
We totally can see how people are feeling left out of the conversation because Leaked was really for the makeup obsessed beauty enthusiasts. Now,
You can't. It doesn't matter who it's for. Even if it was for just the makeup obsessed beauty enthusiast, however that was said. To be a profitable brand and be a successful brand, you need to market not just to one niche group. Like, you don't want your super niche beauty influencers or even your beauty enthusiast, as you call them. You want to have your everyday person or your casual makeup influencer or your casual makeup user or your very serious makeup user. That's how you make your product successful. I'm not saying you have to appeal to every single one of the groups, but you want to appeal to a big enough group that you can still make successful sales and make it successful, because you don't want to put so much money into this brand and not have at least break even in the first year and then be profitable after that, because you can't sustain a brand that way in any regard. So you don't want to appeal to one subset of the group. You want to appeal to 2 or 3 of them at minimum. But personally, with beauty products, you want to appeal to multiple groups of people, because beauty brands are so versatile and there's so many of them that the more you kind of shrink the group you are trying to sell your product to, the less sales you're gonna get, the less profitable it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue.
with this feedback that we're getting, we can totally make adjustments. That's the whole point.
We were in a sea of sameness.
I don't understand this sea of sameness, because there's not much room for innovation. I'm not saying there's none, but you have to meet the safety guidelines and all of that to be able to even put a product out, let alone a beauty product, because you are selling products that are going to be close to your eyes, like the eyeliner I'm wearing, or the mascara I'm wearing. Like there's like with mascara, there's only so much room you can do in being innovative. I could see maybe makeup tools or like putting a spin on something that's classic or doing like a makeup kit with makeup products. There's so many other ways, but there's not a lot of innovation in makeup personally from the way I process things, because there's health guidelines you have to meet, there's safety standards, you can't put harmful ingredients in it, it has to be shelf stable, and also you want to appeal to your customers. There's you know, you want to make something that's going to be long standing to be successful and have a successful product as both the customer and as the brand. So
we're here to bring you access both in information and in tactile textures and formulas that you otherwise wouldn't experience. Any base formula.
I mean, again, there's not much, and I'm sure I could do a quick Google search and find that there are some brands that did it for a very short run, but because it never really was something that sustained on shelves because of all the issues that people are bringing up, you know, or like it doesn't last long.
Base formula that's been presented to us has been stability tested and tested for safety to make sure they can be used legally on any of the surfaces of the face that we're advertising them for, or for whatever the.
I mean, if I'm looking at their product page, it doesn't seem like they have a specific part of the face. It seems very vague on what part of the face this is designed for. From like when you're looking at it, personally, I would think eyeshadow, maybe blush or highlighter, but not much wiggle room. It's basically saying it's eyeshadow without saying it's eyeshadow. It could be used, the one shade could probably be used as a bronzer, but it's very like pearlescent for that. Bronzer would work okay for. Highlighter would work okay for. Eyeshadow, it would work great for. But it doesn't seem like specifically advertised it for eye makeup. Personally, I don't think it's safe for eye makeup. Or not the best or the safest. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with makeup, but when I do have a lot of medical knowledge, and when you're working or when you're putting any product around your eyes, you don't want it to be contaminated. You don't want it easily contaminated when you're adding water and your fingers, you know? And maybe that's why, I mean, I'm not saying there is no advertisement saying it isn't, or like it is specifically for eyes. There could be, and I just haven't saw it. But it doesn't seem like they're specifically being like, oh, this is where you should use it. But when she does show you how to use the product, she does show you on her eyelids. I mean, yes, she swatches it on her forehead and, you know, her cheeks and stuff, which is fine. I mean, that is normal when you swatch makeup. But, you know, there's no specific advertisement. I'm wondering if that was kind of a loophole to be able to put the product out. I mean, that's just me thinking. I don't know enough. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know enough about the process of putting eyeshadow out to know if it was or was not a loophole. That's just my personal opinion. So, anyway, let's finish this video. It is a 6-minute video. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch the whole thing or not, but let's see.
Products intended to be used for. Some brands own their formulas, some brands don't. There's a whole world out there of nuance. With Leaked Labs, we can explain to you that our intention with these goods is to push them to their limits or bring them to market as is when we feel so compelled by the sheer innovation of it all. I'm actually so,
I mean, from what I heard, you said the sheer innovation was enough to bring it to market. I'm not saying it isn't, but like, I mean, innovation, it just seems like innovation keeps coming up over and over again. It just seems like innovation was so much of their priority that they may have overlooked some things, or, you know, put this as an afterthought, or they were so excited or so rushed to launch the brand that they just picked this product. But from one of the videos I've seen, I'm not 100% sure if I'm right on this, but it seems like they have been talking or in the process of their brand for 2 years. I'm not sure about the product. I would think that would kind of coincide with, you know, your brand launching, and you want your first product with your brand when you brand launch, because otherwise you're just announcing a brand and no product, and that would fizzle out very quick. You wouldn't hold people's interest very long. So let's continue on.
so humbled by the amount of people that wanted a retail ready brand from me and us.
I mean, that's kind of how you've positioned your brand for all these years, or not your brand, but your knowledge and how you've spoke about other products. Yeah, we expect a retail ready product because you're selling a product. Period. You know, we don't want, you know, we want something that is retail ready. You should be putting out a retail ready product if you're selling it to your customers. So
I really am. I didn't expect that. You will get that in some version, just not the way you're used to getting it. Otherwise, I'm in the sea of sameness with everyone else, and that's the place.
I don't understand why it's so bad to work within something that is well established, that works for customers and that works for brands. There is so much you could do within that to stand out. 1, marketing. 2, packaging. 3, you can work on different formulas without having to be exactly like something else. Just because it's a makeup eyeshadow palette doesn't mean you can't innovate and do something different with it. You know, there's packaging styles, there's tools, there's marketing, there's so many other things. There's the way you sell it. There's so many other ways. Just, I wouldn't play with, you know, my personal opinion, the potential safety of your customers. Just, I don't know. It's a big question mark for me.
I never want to be. And that's the truth. We have to be true to our ethos of education. Christina has a doctorate in education. I have been doing this for 20 years. I have a deep...
See, if you've been doing it for 20 years, you should be able to put product out that's, you know, retail ready or innovative in your own way. There's other ways to be innovative without, you know.
My love isn't about perfection. My love is about teaching you. So if I had to build a brand, it was going to be a brand rooted in teaching you and showing you how it's done and how it's made. Because that's who the lipstick...
And that's fine. Like, you could have produced a product that was more finished with also still doing kind of, because like I said earlier, they have this like mini duck on their TikTok showing their process of Leaked Labs. But you could do that still, but while creating a product that feels more finished or is more finished. I got psoriasis real bad. Anyway, so
Because that's who the lipstick lesbians have always been. There's nothing wrong with getting constructive feedback, and we can receive constructive feedback. We thank you for it.
Yes, thank you.
We're better for it. The next leak is gonna be even better than we could have even anticipated because of it. But here's the most important part. We will not accept attacks on our appearance, on our aesthetic, on who we are as people. We will not accept these lies that we're scamming people for money. That's not who we are, and that's just quite frankly not right.
We hear the feedback on the
I don't think, I mean, their appearance, I mean, that's not okay. We know that's not okay to attack someone's appearance. I mean, I don't think they were scamming people. I do think it was questionable, in my opinion. It was questionable, just the way they have went about addressing things and the product itself. So,
price. More people want to be a part of this, and we want to include you.
The most innovative formulas cost the most until there are brands and other suppliers and other tools that are created to make it lower in cost. Sometimes the raw materials themselves are at such insane costs, and then there's ways to develop the effect of what that raw material does and replace it with something, less expensive.
but that's something you should be able to figure out on your own. I'm not saying you can't. The next sentence are going to say something about transparency. I'm not saying you can't be transparent during that process. I mean, I think that's something many people are craving with brands more than ever right now. So,
can expect going forward is transparency. Some prices will be higher and some will be lower. Some will be more retail ready in terms of product than others. Some will be formulated from scratch by me. Some will be slightly modified by me because I think they're wonderful as is.
Because we're going to be transparent about that process.
All of it.
Also, there's this weird conspiracy around us selling the data. I could understand why people would be upset with that, but that's not what's happening. The sentiment that we're looking at is whether or not we bring a product.
I have no idea about anything about data. I know nothing about anything about the allegation that they're selling data. I have nothing to add there.
Product back, the product retires, or we evolve a product further.
We refine it. We heard you. We heard you on packaging. We heard you on wanting something, even though we're doing this early access innovation to try and make it even more fully realized from an experience perspective. And we can do that. So we're actually going to adjust some of the leaks and when they come out in the cycle. And we're going to be extremely intentional in the language, explaining at what stage of innovation this product is hitting you, how it was developed, how it was refined, and we're going to show you all of that in our docuseries.
And we're also going to get really clear on the language as well, because we can totally own that some of the language was definitely confusing and didn't accurately represent what we were trying to do. So thank you for sharing that feedback with us.
I mean, I think you told everyone exactly what you were doing. It just wasn't well received. And, I mean, you're echoing a lot of what you have already said. It just hasn't been well received. I mean, point blank.
That we could evolve and make Leaked Labs better.
And that's the point. Because remember, beauty queens, there are hundreds of brands, thousands, if not millions of product on the market.
Yeah.
The choice is always yours. It's true in every video we've ever made as the Lipstick Lesbians. It couldn't even be more true now that Leak Labs exist. The choice is yours.
And for everyone who purchased our first leak, thank you. That means so much that you supported us and that you wanted to experience these early access innovations. And we're working on ways to engage with you further.
I worked in the beauty industry for 20 years. Within my career, and even 3 years ago, I felt voiceless. Whatever space I occupied as a beauty lover, I was either too much, too big, too fat, too loud, too opinionated, too in love with artistry.
Too intense.
Too intense. And I actually thought that I would be rejected by the internet, which is why I never made content, and we argued about it for 5 years. And the truth is that I never let the rejection of beauty, the industry at large, the way it rejected me, affect the way I showed up for you.
I mean, I don't think it's right to reject someone from, for their looks or their weight or their body shape or anything like that. Beauty is beauty. You want to use makeup, anyone and everyone should be able to use makeup. Male, female, anyone. So, I don't think that's right. And I agree that they shouldn't be receiving those kind of comments now. I think most people would agree on that. It just,
When I did finally break that seal, boom, and come on the internet because of Christina gamifying it for me.
It's okay, Mom. Do you want me to take over?
I think I can do it. So, Leak Labs is the entry point into beauty that is meant to be welcoming, healing, and loving in the way that I never got to experience it in my career. And in the way that I know so many of you in our community have reached out to us to thank us for the work that we've done. But there were limits. And the point of building Leak Labs is to end the limitations that we had. We also feel it's only fair for us to reset a little bit as to why we even built this business in the first place. Leak Lab is a new entry point into early access innovation and another lane that doesn't have to be better or worse than the ones that exist for beauty lovers to approach and embark on a journey of play with us.
We love you, beauty queens.
We love our beauty queens.
It's all about love here. It's always been about love. Beauty is supposed to bring us together, not rip us apart.
If you've been on the internet,
I mean, just follow through what you say. Bring, just have a product that's, accessible to everyone. And I think that's completely possible to do, whether it's super new innovation or not. I mean, you could put a twist on something that's already on the market. Okay, so after that video, again, there was a lot of questions. There was still more criticism and more questions on the product and obviously what is happening next with it. So this is the video Alexis did on after the video I had just watched, and Christina's not in this one.
it's on the Leak Labs account. A lot of you are probably wondering why. Christina and I and the team intentionally decided to pause. The first launch sparked so much conversation. We wanted to intentionally pause and assess the customer feedback and what the internet thought. We are listening, and we have been...
And I really hope they take their customer feedback and put it into their brand, because personally I think they could do, with the knowledge they have, they could do an amazing brand. I'm not saying they can't. I think it's just they didn't go about it the best, So I do think, I said that I have already filmed once. I just didn't like the look. I sat on what I filmed and thought about it a little bit more and kind of wanted to come back and refilm. But a sentiment I did say in there is, with the knowledge they have and with their experience from just before this, and then going forward, they could 100%, they have the potential to make something amazing. They can turn this around. It may take a little bit of work, and they may have to gain trust of their audience and their consumers again, but I 100% think they could turn this around. It may take some time, but 100%. I don't think this is like a complete failure. I think they can turn this around. This is a rough start. I think maybe they should have came with a more well-developed brand, or not a well-developed brand. Their brand marketing and all that is okay or fine. It's the product itself. I think they could have came with a more well-developed product and at first, and they would have, gained that trust from their audience, versus now they might have to work a little harder to regain that trust from their audience and their consumers and just anyone that had bought product before. And I'm sure there are going to be some people that won't ever buy from them again, and then there's going to be some people that if they see something that they put out something that's more developed and more thought through with packaging and in that sense, and like the questions of the product and the safety and all that, I think 100% they could gain the trust of their consumers again.
Making those changes the last few weeks behind the scenes already. We took this very seriously. Leaked Labs exists to serve the beauty community, and that's exactly what we're gonna do over the next few weeks as we reintroduce Leaked. What's next? The show must go on. So will our docuseries, so will our product development. Something that might have been missed in our silence the last few weeks is actually how excited we are to bring you the next Leak. We did push out the launch, and we are adjusting some of the elements of that launch, and you're gonna see those changes roll out in the next few weeks. There's always been a plan.
It's not the launch itself that was the issue particularly, it was more the product itself. That seems where all the questions sparked. It wasn't the launch itself. So I mean, if you have a well-developed product and a well-finished product, I think you wouldn't necessarily have to push that back, unless you are making adjustments to the actual final product development and stuff. Yeah, that would push it back. So, and that's not a bad thing. You do not want, from like a branding point of view, you do not want to repeat this again, because then if you have this situation happen again, it will be a lot harder to recover with your community. And I'm not saying you can't be innovative or put a spin on it or do your own product development. That's not the thing here. It's just like you do want to gain their trust back, your consumers and your customers and your audience back, because you will not have a successful brand if you cannot have some level of trust. And I mean, so
for me to product develop within this business, it just didn't happen with the first Leak. That was what we call a discovery.
Personally, I think you should have just done the product development and not discovery, and just skip that and just put out your well-rounded product development, so you don't. And if you should do your own product development. I mean, if you happen to see a product that was being offered to purchase from Labs or whatever, and it was really good, and you know, you could put your own spin on it and it, you know, be more practical. I think it's okay to do that. I just think maybe if you wanted to do product development, I don't know why you wouldn't do that from the start. I mean, personally, if that's something I would want to do, I would do it from the start too. So, I mean, that's just how I personally feel.
To be clearer, there will be two types of leaks that happen in the leaked business model. Products that are discovered, like Amplify Flexi, and products that are developed, created, like our next leak. We created a docuseries so we could be more transparent and bring you into the leaks. And we want to do that. We needed this reset before we could do so. This is my favorite part that I'm most excited for, allowing our community to experience the leaks even before they necessarily hit the market. So who is this beauty community that we're so excited to serve that we keep talking about? You care about texture, sensation, and being the first to experience beauty early. That's exactly who we built this for. The last thing we would want is for anyone not to have a good experience with our first leak. So we completely understand this was a very conceptual format. If you did not have a good experience with Amplify Flexi Powder and you want a refund, you can do so on our website, or you can reach out at hello@leaklabs.com. We're gonna make it right. This has always been about sharing our love and joy for beauty, and that hasn't changed. And we're here to serve the beauty community. I just can't wait for you to get the next leak.
I mean, I don't have much else to say about that last part of the video. I do think it's good that they're offering a refund. Let me see. So I have one more video, and this, I believe, was the one that was actually posted to their brand account. Let me go to their brand account. The video I just watched might have also been on there. We're gonna go look. No, it actually isn't. That, I mean, it might be included in this one, but that video that we just watched about refund, and that wasn't on, it isn't, that specific video isn't on here. They may have it included in this one we're gonna watch, but this is on their brand page.
We did not do a great job of explaining to you what Leaked Labs is. Let's take you back to the beginning. It was June 2024.
Hey baby, what are we doing?
We just had our first meeting for Leaked.
There I am. I'm really excited. I was also just crying a little bit.
Okay, so it was in 2024. So
initially, we wanted to bring you closer than ever to the manufacturers through a subscription box.
So while I'm watching this, I see the comments under this is on their actual brand page, and a comment that kind of is more like specific about like kind of how I think people are feeling is the person says retail prices need retail packaging, which I kind of feel like is a big sentiment. I mean, it's more of a specific critique. And then another thing, which I'm going to say at the end of this, we're going to finish watching this first, but I just want to bring up that comment because I feel like it's a good one. And then there's another one I'm going to talk about at the end of this because this video is my last video. I do have some screenshots I'm going to include more about the refunds.
Single product that's going to be in that first box, or some of, are inside this bag.
Inside the subscription box, we thought it would be amazing to add all these really conceptual products. And the idea was to be more public about how we product developed. The more we thought about the subscription box, the more we thought about the model, we thought it would be really overwhelming to get a box of all this stuff. And that's when we decided to pivot. And like all entrepreneurs, welcome to Pivot. Because we were not...
I don't think that would have been a bad idea if they were well developed, like safe products. So
not clear on what the appetite would be. The drop model would allow us to do early innovations, handcrafted, smaller batches. Fast forward to March 6, 2026, we dropped the really conceptual.
Click a blue one on this.
Clear on what we did. Welcome to Pivot. Because we were not clear on what the appetite would be, the drop model would allow us to do early innovations, handcrafted.
Oh yeah, look at that's
Fast forward to
blue.
March 6, 2026, we dropped the really conceptual product. There's two ways leaks can happen. Discover, create. They are discovered from a manufacturer, and they're really conceptual and exciting and different, or they're created by me. And this was true. Create. They are discovered from a manufacturer, and they're really conceptual and exciting and different, or they're created by me. And this was true on March 6th, and it's more true today because we're pivoting a little bit more towards what you all want because we heard you. As of our next launch, you will see a creation. Essentially, leaked is about leaking innovation, which really just means early access to beauty products. This is gonna be a next generation of a formula you may be familiar with, or it's gonna be something you've never seen before. Each product represents a different level of innovation. We'll be extremely transparent of whether or not it was a discovery or a creation. We release it early in limited quantities. If the product is loved, it stays. We keep manufacturing. If it isn't, it gets archived like Flexi. These are not unfinished formulas. They've been stability.
I feel like this is all stuff that should be done in the backhand of a business instead of in the foreground. Most people will let you know if there's something that you need to adjust with the product, especially with the age of social media. Brands get critiques on social media from makeup influencers to your everyday customer to, you know, even product development. I mean, they have been doing videos, and she is, you know, says that she has history in product development. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like this could be, a lot of this could be done on the background instead of having your direct customers do a lot of that.
Compatibility, safety, regulatory tested, and of course, performance tested. It's a different entry point to beauty discovery. I can't wait for you to see the next 6 leaks.
Okay, so I don't have much to say after that. It just seems like more about innovation. Same thing over and over again. That kind of brings me to my final point of this. And also, I saw a comment on this video as I was trying to watch it saying the same thing. So this comment says, so much explanation again and again, but we still are confused. But we are still confused. Which I think that kind of is true. And, you know, yeah, see, another comment is, which is a really good point, honestly. For your average everyday person, why this comment says, I'm confused. Why would I want to be closer to the manufacturer? Which doesn't make sense to your everyday customer. That's why I was saying a lot of this stuff seems like you should be doing it in the background instead of in front. Or I think I said foreground. I don't even know if that's a word or if that's the right term. Or in front, like in front of your customers. Like I don't know that we need to be that close to the behind the scenes. I think it would be a great idea for a documentary. And I mean, if you want to document their process of development, that seems like a good idea too, especially considering your content creators. But, you know, I don't know why it's specifically, it seems more like it's directly to the companies that want to buy the product, in my opinion. But I think that's about everything I had. There are some screenshots I am gonna talk about real quick. I forgot about them. So concerning the refund, they did send out an email to customers that had bought the product and that hadn't yet So one point I did want to kind of cover that is in these emails that customers got. I think it was offering them an email, but the one point I wanted to direct or like bring up in these is that says that Flexi has not been available since oh my god, let me restart. Flexi has not been available for sale since it sold out. And we know some of you are waiting to experience Flexi for yourselves. After taking everything in, the formula, the package, and the package Flexi currently in Flexi's currently archived in original form remain a symbol of what gets us out of bed. What? No, that's a whole wrong one. So basically, it seems like they are saying that the product is not coming back, which, I mean, I'm basically saying their next leak is already in motion, is how they word it, and it's very different than their first leak, which I hope it is. So, anyway, how I feel about it, like I said, personally, I just think it wasn't very well thought out. But I do not think they can't come back from this. I think they 100% can. I think if they, like she said in that very last video that we covered, if she does her own product development and like all of that, they got their marketing. Don't get me wrong, they got their marketing. The social media aspect, that part, their marketing, their campaign, their visuals, all of that. Very well done. Very well done. I will give them that. I just think they kind of lacked on the product just a little bit. But I do not think it's something they can't come back from. So that's pretty much it I have. I will put these screenshots in towards the end, like where, just so that you can write them for yourself if you want. And there's not much more to add with the screenshots anyway. It's mostly everything we covered and in email form to the customers that bought directly from them. And so I do like kind of think it's a little weird that they're not posting a lot of this on their actual brand page. A lot of it hasn't made it there. Some of it has, but like 2 of the videos they talk about addressing this is not on their brand page. So
dedication to the hatred of me makes me realize how fucking fabulous I am. I have fucking made it.
Let me just put my word salad down. Hold on, I dropped one. I dropped the word. It's no surprise that the Lipstick Lesbians have been under attack recently. We've been made fun of for the way that we look, the way that we talk, the way that we think. Everything about us has been ripped apart. To Bethany's point, I have ADHD. It's actually a superpower for me.
What happens when you touch a product?
My brain is processing all the different sensations at the same time when I'm experiencing a product. And then I give all the things that are in my brain to all of you. And most importantly, especially for the young people watching, beauty queen or not, we're here to tell you that never, ever is it okay to sit back and let somebody rip you apart for who you are. Every single time, it's about them. It's about them feeling small and projecting all their pain onto you. Because if they push it onto you, they think they don't have to feel it. This is what's preventing probably half of you that are watching this from taking a step into your dreams. This is exactly what I care about the most. You just need to keep existing and being you. We are proud to have our channel publicly be the Lipstick Lesbians, just as we are proud of the word salad. That is the way that I think. That is the embodiment of who I am, because it is literally how my brain processes information. The beauty queens that are here, that are defending in the comments, we see you. And thank you. Thank you. And we're gonna keep going strong like Bethany told us to. We fucking made it.
Anyway, I think that's all. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Bye.